I was standing on pit road when the caution flag came out, and for a second, nobody knew who to be angry at. Then the replay hit the big screen, and 9,000 people at Chicagoland Speedway went silent at once. A car was spinning into the wall. Another car was still moving. And the name on that second car was Shane van Gisbergen. That moment, on lap 48 of the Cup Series race at Chicagoland Speedway in July 2026, is where this story actually begins. But to understand why it hit so hard, you have to go back further, because this was not two strangers colliding on a random Sunday. This was the fourth chapter of a fight that had been building for over 2 years. Before we go further, if you're new here, this is NASCAR Voltage, and we break down exactly what happened, when it happened, and why NASCAR made the calls it made, using nothing but confirmed reporting and on-record statements. We're closing in on 500 subscribers, and every single one of you gets us there faster. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment telling us who you think was really at fault. Your support is the only reason we can keep making content like this. Shane van Gisbergen, the New Zealand driver who won his Cup Series debut on the Chicago Street Course in 2023, entered the 2026 season running full-time in the Cup Series for the first time. He was already known as a road course specialist. What nobody expected was that his biggest rivalry of the year would form not on a road course, but through a string of short track and oval restarts against one specific driver, Austin Hill, of Richard Childress Racing's number 33 Chevrolet. The broadcast narrative, early on, was simple. Two hard chargers, a bit of contact, nothing personal. That was the first explanation, and for a while, it held. Fans were told this was normal short track racing, elbows out, no hard feelings, move on to the next event. That explanation did not survive the season. The real history goes back to March 2024, at the Circuit of the Americas, when both drivers were still racing in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Van Gisbergen had control of an overtime restart. Hill stayed attached to his bumper through turn 1. Van Gisbergen ran wide. Later in that same race, Van Gisbergen used his front bumper on Hill going into turn 15, pushing both cars offline. Kyle Larson slipped past them both and took the win. Hill finished second. Van Gisbergen crossed the line second as well, but was hit with a 30-second penalty for cutting the course, and dropped to 27th. Neither driver walked away from that day satisfied. Van Gisbergen told Fox Sports that Hill drove through me in turn 1 and said he stood up for himself. Hill's version was the mirror image. He said Van Gisbergen just ran through us into turn 15. Two accounts of the same corner, and neither driver backing down. That was 2024. The rivalry didn't cool off. It went quiet, waiting for the next spark. That spark came in 2026, once both drivers were racing full-time in the Cup Series, and once Hill had taken over the number 33 car following Kyle Busch's death. According to NASCAR.com, the two clashed 3 times across 4 consecutive races, starting at Pocono Raceway. The following week, at the Naval Base Coronado Street Course, Hill's car clipped the inside wall and ricocheted into the Trackhouse racing duo of Connor Zilisch and Van Gisbergen, ending both of their races on the spot. 2 Trackhouse cars, gone, in a single moment that traced back to Hill's car. Then came Chicagoland. On lap 48, Van Gisbergen made contact with the rear of Hill's number 33 Chevrolet, sending it hard into the wall and ending Hill's day early. The Richard Childress Racing team's reaction was immediate. They believed the contact was intentional, and specifically, retaliation. 2 weeks earlier, Van Gisbergen had been leading a race during a mid-race restart when Hill spun him, triggering a multi-car incident of its own. In Hill's team's eyes, Chicagoland was payback. Hill didn't let it go quietly either. He parked his damaged car in the garage, but not before making contact with Van Gisbergen's door under caution. 2 incidents, same day, same 2 drivers, and now the entire garage was watching to see what NASCAR would do about it. This is where the story stopped being about bumpers and started being about the rulebook. NASCAR Cup Series Managing Director Brad Moran confirmed that officials reviewed the Chicagoland incidents involving Van Gisbergen, Hill, and a separate pairing of Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar, and determined that nothing rose to the level of a penalty. Mike Ford, NASCAR's Vice President of Racing Communications, went further on the Hauler Talk podcast, explaining that officials had reviewed data, radio transmissions, camera angles, and prior laps involving both drivers before reaching that conclusion. His exact words, officials found nothing that proved the contact was 100% intentional and penalty-worthy. That single standard, intent has to be proven, not assumed, became the center of the entire controversy. Because just weeks earlier, NASCAR had handed Ryan Preece a $50,000 fine and a deduction of 25 championship points for contact involving Ty Gibbs at Texas Motor Speedway. The difference, according to Moran, was that Preece had verbalized his intent over the radio before the contact happened, giving officials direct evidence to act on. Then Gisbergen and Hill had said nothing over the radio that could be used the same way. Same sport, same rulebook, two very different outcomes, and fans noticed immediately. The Athletic's Jeff Gluck posted the ruling on X, writing plainly, and no penalties for anything related to SVG/Austin Hill or Smith/Jose Var. Game on. Reaction across the fanbase was swift, with many calling it a double standard compared to the Preece decision. NASCAR reporter Steven Taranto shared his own take on the ruling as the debate spread. Even outside the beat reporters, veteran voices weighed in. Dale Earnhardt Jr., on his show, Dale Jr. Download, addressed the situation directly. For whatever reason, and I'm sure there's a good one, NASCAR won't assume. NASCAR will only act when they've got factual evidence or an admittance of guilt. That comment summarized exactly why the ruling frustrated so many people, not because it was necessarily wrong, but because it exposed how much the outcome depends on what gets said over a radio channel, not what happens on the racetrack. Van Gisbergen, for his part, did not hide from the situation. He maintained that he didn't intend to take out Hill and personally apologized to the number 33 team. But an apology didn't end it. Officials still summoned both drivers to the NASCAR hauler the following weekend at Echo Park Speedway, for a meeting that lasted 17 minutes. Walking out, Van Gisbergen offered a simple, honest reaction to reporters: "I don't really want to do it again." Ford confirmed that NASCAR planned to sit down with both drivers to make sure the rivalry didn't boil over into something bigger heading into the following race weekend. That single phrase told you everything about where this story actually stood: not resolved, not settled, just paused. Officials weren't declaring the conflict over. They were trying to control the timing of whatever came next. And the timing mattered, because this wasn't just a personal rivalry playing out in isolation. Every incident, every review, every non-penalty carried weight inside the playoff picture. Points, race results, and reputations were all stacked on top of two drivers who had shown, 4 times over 2 seasons, that they were willing to use their bumpers to settle what the rulebook wouldn't. A meeting in a hauler doesn't erase 4 incidents. It just delays the 5th one. That's where things stand heading into the next round. NASCAR has drawn its line: no penalty without direct proof of intent. Van Gisbergen has said his piece. Hill's team still believes the Chicagoland hit was retaliation, whether officials could prove it or not. And the sport's own history, Preece's fine, Moran's explanation, Ford's data review, Earnhardt Jr.'s public read on it, is now sitting there for every driver in the garage to study. If intent needs to be spoken out loud to be punished, everyone in that garage just learned exactly what not to say over the radio. Whether the next incident between these two drivers happens on a short track, a road course, or a street circuit, one thing is already clear: neither side backed down after Chicagoland, and NASCAR's own ruling made sure this rivalry didn't get closure, it got a pause button. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next, because the storyline is nowhere near finished. If this breakdown helped you actually understand what happened instead of just watching the clip on repeat, that's exactly what NASCAR Voltage is here for. We're building toward 500 subscribers, and we need your help to get there, so subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment with your take on the Moran Ford ruling. Share this with a NASCAR fan who's still arguing about whether that Chicagoland hit was intentional. Every comment and share tells us exactly what to break down next.